lot to Nigeria. My name is John Obizoba. If you're just joining us for the first time, you're very much welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on post notification. And don't also forget to share this episode to other persons so that yes, they can be very much updated and abreast of what's happening, especially in the legal sphere in Nigeria. Now, we're talking about something very important. But before that, let me ask the question, how are you doing? How are you coping? Our dear country Nigeria is actually in a very crazy time, and I know that yes, it's really hard to survive in Nigeria, but I hope you're finding a way to survive, especially a legal means of surviving. On my own part, you can see I'm trying to be alright, I'm trying to be good. What can we do? So today we're talking about something very, very important, something that affects every one of us. It cuts across the various areas of our existence as human persons in our Nigerian society. And not just Nigerian society, but generally in the world. But particularly, let's talk about Nigeria. It relates to us in Nigeria and under Nigerian laws. Now, there's this thing that's always happening. The fact that when a particular thing sucks or when matters go wrong, people always want to address it by themselves, take laws into their own hands to do what comes to their mind. Now, you agree with me that several times you must have experienced where thieves have been caught and you see people beating, carrying stick, poles, some people go as far as setting people on fire and all that. Sometime recently, particularly sometime around 26th and 27th May, yes, 26th, the news was all over the place that a 20th level student of Ajayi Crowther University, I think, yes, his name is Alex Timileyin, was actually beaten to death. On the allegation that he stole something, a phone or there, something like that. Now, the question is, who gave you the right to actually beat a person? Like you kept beating the person, you saw that this person is having wounds, bruises and the rest, and you kept beating the person until the person died. Now, this is one of the crazy we've witnessed several times. It's not just it's a very sad story actually, very sad and heartbreaking. And I think recently the police has made certain arrests and some persons have actually been charged. Yes, and people are like, oh, but some persons have heard people say that, oh, but now they say in thief, and so what? You see self-help and jungle justice. Jungle justice is a form of self-help. We're talking about self-help today. Self-help is one craze that actually is everywhere. It's not just in this situation. This is just one of the various few stories that got to the news, that got to the public sphere. A lot of this happens a lot of times. Like self-help, it's just crazy. It's something that continues to exist with us as a people, and it's not even it's against every ideal societal practice. Every proper society never conforms to self-help. It's just something the law abhors at all times. Let's talk about day-to-day existence. You see, let me use the aspect of landlord-tenant. You see situations where a landlord and a tenant, they're having issues. Possibly the tenant is not paying rent as he should. The landlord will either call carpenter to remove the roof, the tenant's roof, or he will call trucks to come and pick up the tenant, or we'll just bring in people and they'll carry the tenant's load and throw outside. These things happen. Let's leave landlord and tenant. Let's go to the next area, the aspect of owing money. You see people, oh, Mr. A is owing Mr. B money. Mr. B will go and call the police or call some guys, agoros, or some bad boys, or soldier, army guys, military boys, to come and beat up this person to collect the money. Or you see that, oh, this person threatened me, that I have to go and call someone that will beat him. See, it cuts across our various existence as human beings in Nigerian society. You find out that every day the various act of taking laws into our hands actually goes on around us. Now, what do you call the act of taking law into your hand? It's called self-help. Yes, self-help. When you talk about self-help, as the name implies, you're seeking means to help yourself, to resolve the matter yourself. But the problem with self-help is that it may sound like when we just talk about self-help, oh, helping myself, it sounds like it's a good thing. But in the real sense of it, the self-help we're talking about is taking laws into your hand when there are stipulated principles and guidelines on how an issue should be addressed. But you do it in such a manner that actually contravenes the established laws or principles. Now, when you talk about self-help, it means I am doing it myself. I'm taking laws into my hand. I'm taking laws into my hand. I'm resorting to helping myself and not following the right channel or the right remedy to actually resolve issues. Let's talk about the aspect of debt recovery, for example. Now, I already talked about the fact that, oh, someone is owing you money. What's the proper thing you're supposed to do when someone owes you money? you're supposed to make a formal demand to the person. If you make a demand and the person is not answering you, what do? You can engage a lawyer to write to the person. Oh, write formally. Oh, when the person doesn't answer, what do you next thing do you do? The person ignores the letter or doesn't say anything tangible. You can go as far as word. You engage a lawyer who institutes an action in court for recovery of what? Debt. Oh, I even forgot one scenario that's always very common. Now, this loan shark, this company that give out money, I'm sure most of you must be receiving text messages and different calls. There are sometimes you receive calls that if you know so and so, this person is a devil, he has collected money from us, he's an armed robber, he's a criminal, he has killed several hundred people, do not do this one, do not this one. These are acts of self-help. And they all have their adverse implications when it comes to the Nigerian legal parlance and Nigerian legal system. It has the adverse implication on the person carrying out this act of self-help, but we'll come to that. So I was talking about the aspect of debt recovery. Debt recovery, make a formal demand yourself. If the person is not agreeing to answer you or doesn't want to say anything tangible, what do? You engage a lawyer who writes. The lawyer writes. After writing, if he doesn't want to go, you institute an action for debt recovery. That's for debt recovery. Landlord tenancy matter. If your tenant is not paying you the money, your rent, you have remedy. Issue the necessary statutory notices. And after that, you can institute an action for demand of your rent. But we always want to do them sharp. We want the method where they sharp. When you catch a thief, what are you supposed to do? Yes, private individuals have the right and have the powers to arrest. Now, as a private guy, you've caught the thief. You've arrested him at that point. What do? You're supposed to hand him over to the police or a specific law enforcement agency at that particular time. Hand him over to the police. You're supposed to hand him over to the police. You're supposed to hand that person over to the police and let them do the necessary things. But no, we want to take lots. You start beating the person, you start doing this, you start doing that. Before the next thing, you're thinking like they have burned the person alive, the person is dead or something like that. So legally, self-help, the law does not encourage self-help. The law is against self-help. The law stipulates that for every wrong there is a remedy. However, for you to be able to benefit from remedy, you must go through the necessary processes. There are procedures. Procedures have been established to guide you to achieving and seeking these remedies and benefiting and actually getting these remedies. But no, we want sharp. We always want it that the moment you do it, you get gone. You must get it. But the thing we don't know is that most times when you engage in the act of self-help, there are always consequences, very dire consequences. Now, legally, you could be liable under civil law or under criminal law. You could be liable civilly or criminally. I'll explain what I mean. Now, there's certain acts you can take, act of self-help, that will make you liable under civil law. Now, you can be liable for trespass. For example, as a landlord, when you go and remove your tenant's roof, you've trespassed. Forget saying you're a landlord. At that point, you have the right of possession. And when you illegally enter, notwithstanding you're the landlord, don't forget that at the point when there's a tenancy existing, there's a covenant on the part of the landlord to allow the tenant quiet enjoyment of what? Possession. The moment the landlord enters there without consent, and not entering, you enter illegally to go and commit an illegal act, which is what? The removing of his roof. Both you and your agent, who is the carpenter or whoever, or those boys you have brought to carry out his load from this house, or those people you have brought to the house, at that point they have trespassed. Trespass, illegal entry, they trespass into all his property. Illegal entry into his premises. That's why there's trespass. Now you have trespass to land, you have trespassed into his premises, you have trespassed into his property. Forget say you're the owner. There's trespass. Now at the point when you touch his property, they are throwing out the property, they are destroying this, they are spoiling things. There's a trespass to what? Chattel. So you see, taking law into your hand. Yes, initially he's not paying you rent. He has vitiated, he has breached the tenancy agreement, which is the right. Now you agree that he must pay rent in advance. He has breached that obligation, that term. But how do you resolve it? There's a way to resolve it. Engage your lawyer, issue statutory notices, notice to quit, you want him to go out, then also you can write warning letters and all that. See, there are procedures for that. But no, you went to bring boys, you went to remove his roof, you went to bring Agoro boys, dogs to beat him so that they can drive him out. You're going to be liable for trespass to land, trespass to chattel. And now, when they now mistakenly, let me not say they intended to, let me use the word, they did not know, they now touch him and slap him by mistake. Guess what? Trespass to person, assault, battery. Do you know that you do not necessarily need to touch a person before you can be liable for assault? Yes, the fact that you create fear in that person. When you talk about trespass under civil law, when you talk about trespass to person, you talk about there are plenty. You have assault, battery, false imprisonment. Now, when you talk about trespass to person, people think it's only when I slap you. The moment you create that fear that you're going to you create that fear in me that you're going to harm me, you've already created you're liable for assault in civil law, and you can be held liable. So you can see that person can maintain an action against you for trespass to property, trespass to land, trespass to person, and the person will seek damages against you. The person can also bring an action for fundamental right enforcement. Now it can come again for breach of rights to life, breach of life to privacy, breach of right to dignity of human person. When we talk about these things, people talk, now lawyer, let him talk. Yes, the lawyer will keep talking as lawyers. The idea is to advise you so you protect yourself and prevent yourself from making the wrong mistakes that will land you in hot soup when you have a very good case. So under civil law, you can be liable. You can be liable for trespass to person, trespass to person, trespass to land. You can be liable for trespass to chattel, trespass to property. Now, you can also be liable for breach of fundamental right. For example, the aspect of the people that beaten a thief, an alleged thief. The truth is, under the law, it's only a duly constituted court, as established by law, that can convict or find a person or pronounce a person as guilty. Even when you caught the person red-handed, yes, we know you've caught him, yes, now him. But for you to actually now inflict punishment and sentencing, it's only a court of competent jurisdiction that can do that. So at that point, when you've caught him, the best thing for you to do is to hand him over. So under civil law, when the person starts to beat the person can maintain, notwithstanding yes, the criminal person, this person was arrested, is a thief, yes, the person can still maintain action, civil action against the persons who beat or touched him or did one thing to him at that particular time. Then you can maintain action for breach of right to life, fundamental right enforcement, breach of right to dignity of human person. Dignity of human person is saying you shall not treat any human being, any Nigerian citizen in such despicable manner as to reduce him or belittle him. Such as the act of any act that is degrading or any torture, any act that is degrading that belittles his dignity as a person, as a living person, you shall not engage in it. The moment you start beating the person, you actually degraded. You can bring an action for breach of right to dignity of human person. So under civil law, you can be liable for a lot of things. You can be liable, like I said, you can be liable for breach of fundamental rights. You can be liable for trespass to chattel, trespass to land, trespass to human person. Under criminal law, you can go under criminal, there are plenty. Your liability can be plenty. In the event of forget that the person you said in the case of someone that stole money, or someone that you caught stealing something, or someone that you caught committing a crime. The crime mustn't just be stealing. Someone that you commit a crime, you are beating the person, and you end up killing the person. Forget it, Oga. You can be you'll be arrested. This one is not that they may arrest you. You'll be arrested, and you will be charged. You charged for murder. Now it is now the court that will determine, it was it murder or was it manslaughter. But at that point they will charge you. They will charge you for, let's call it, they will charge you for homicide, for killing a person. If the person did not die, the person can be charged for what? Attempted murder. You can be charged for what? Conduct likely to breach public peace. You can be charged for a lot. In the case of a landlord who is removing roof or calling boys, you can be liable for what? Criminal assault. You can be liable for even attempted murder. You can be liable for malicious damage. You can be liable for threats to human. See, there are a lot of criminal liabilities that exist. And the crazy part is, why would you put yourself in harm's way? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Why don't I do things the proper way? Like I said before, the law frowns at self-help. Self-help is not actually legal. Taking laws into your hand. And the funny part is, most times you see people after taking laws into their hand will still approach the court to actually come and seek remedy. Let me tell you, the language of the court, or the body language, the stance of the law of the courts is that for every time you are liable for self-help, you cannot comfortably enjoy that remedy you ought to enjoy, because you're taking your laws into your own hands. So at every time when you feel that yes, your right has been breached, or you have a remedy, or there's a wrong against you, what do? You seek the proper channel to actually to get remedy. And what's the proper channel? You seek, first of all, you seek proper advice. You consult a professional. We're talking about a professional, but in the aspect of law, when you see that yes, there's a legal implication, what do? You actually, whether it is in the area of landlord tenancy, it's in the area of if it's area of crime. For example, someone that has been alleged to commit a crime has been allegedly caught in the act of committing a crime. What do? You actually hand the person over to law enforcement. If it's the area of breach of contracts, you get a lawyer who will advise you. If it's the aspect of landlord tenancy matters, you get a lawyer. Debt recovery, you engage the appropriate professional so that you take the right step. See, it is better for you to do things diligently and it takes a little time, but you still get to that part when you enjoy the benefit. That for you to do rush and quick, then you now do it and spoil things. Because most times when you take law to your hand, you end up spoiling things. I hope that they say a word is enough for the wise. I hope you've learned something in this particular episode. I hope this episode was indeed insightful and indeed very educating. Please don't forget to like, share, comment. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment section. Let us get to understand things better. Anything that is unclear to you, just ask the question. We'll put you through. Don't forget to also subscribe if you've not subscribed, and turn on your post notifications so that you can know when a new episode drops. My name again remains al-Adha. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.